Miles to go, everyone. Welcome to today's session of Democratic Politics, Class 10th, Chapter 2, Federalism. What is federalism? Federalism is a system in which the governmental power is divided between a central authority and its various constituent units. We have learned in last chapter one of the key changes made in constituent of Belgium was to reduce the power of the central government and to give these power to the regional government. These regional powers had their role and powers, but all these powers were given to these government and could be withdrawn by the central government. In 1993, the regional government were given constitutional power that were no longer dependent on the central government. Thus, Belgium shifted from unitary to the federal form of government. Sri Lanka continues to be, for all practical purposes, a unitary system where the national government had all the powers. The Tamil leaders want Sri Lanka to become a federal system, but the central government never wanted to share that power with the regional governments. Hence, that made Sri Lanka a unitary system. Federal system of government in which the power is divided between a central authority and various constituent. Federalism or federation has two levels of government. In case of India, we have three levels of government: center, state, and local self-government. All these levels of government enjoy their power independent of the other. Now let's understand the key features of federalism. The key features of federalism are: there are two or more levels of government. Second, different levels of government govern the same citizen, but each tier has its own jurisdiction in specific matters of legislation, taxation, and administration. The jurisdiction of the representative levels or tiers of government are specified in the Constitution. So, the existence and authority of each tier of government is constitutionally guaranteed. That means that Constitution has guaranteed that power to the state. The fundamental provision of Constitution cannot be unilaterally changed by any level of government. Such changes require consent of both the levels of government. Courts have the power to interpret the Constitution, and the powers of different levels of government. The highest court act as an umpire if disputes arise between different levels of government in exercise of their respective power. Sources of revenue for each level of government are clearly specified to ensure financial autonomy. The federal system thus has a dual objective: to safeguard and promote unity of the government, while at the same time accommodate a regional diversity. The exact balance of power between center and state government varies from federation to federation. Let's understand different types of federation. Broadly, there are two types of federation. One is known as coming together federation. Another one is known as holding together federation. Let's understand what do we mean by coming together federation. Independent states coming together on their own to form a bigger unit, so that by pooling sovereignty and retaining identity, they can increase their security. For example, USA, Switzerland, and Australia. In these all constituent units usually have equal power and are strong vis-a-vis federal government. Holding together federation is where a large country decide to divide its power between constituent state and national government. Example, India, Spain, Belgium. In this, central government tends to be more powerful than the state. Very often, different constituent units of the federation have unequal power. Some units are granted special power. In case of India, we can see that before 2019, Jammu and Kashmir was given a special state status.